got a fucking horrible cold. So, see, you'll have to excuse the voice breaking, the crackling, the fucking snorting, the coughing, all sorts of horrible shit. You know when you feel alright, but I like, oh, nice. Get that phlegm right in you. It's tasty.
Lung butter.
Ever since you said, do a wipe for Jesus. everyone keeps fucking going with it. It's so funny. Wipe front and back, and then one for Jesus.
You got it, haven't you?
That is so fucking. I'd love to. You'd probably get in trouble for it, but you know how like Ricky Gervais they animated their podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do something like that.
That'd be pretty dope.
Oh God. Obviously, I want to address the rumours that didn't come to light.
Well, should we say welcome to What's the Buttons?
Oh yeah. Welcome to What's the Buttons.
Episode.
Fucking 60 something, 60 odd.
Oh, is it nearly
67? I think
the magic number?
Oh, what's the magic number? Oh.
Oh. 3 is the magic number. It's episode 67.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's decent, isn't it?
Respect it. Respect us. Respect.
And then, what is it? Fucking episode 40 something on the Patreon. Some
fucking
shit.
flying.
Doing loads, man. I'm excited because tomorrow is Comic-Con at the XL in London. And there's a whole entourage of people that will be there wearing What's the Buttons merch. So it'll be quite fun. Because it was decent when it was just you and me at the Star Wars celebration. There was people noticing it. And obviously we weren't as massive then as we are now.
Huge.
I think we have doubled since being there, you know.
Yeah.
In terms of listenership, I think it has actually doubled, which is quite surreal. Not that anyone there is going to fucking recognise us anyway.
Well, they won't because I'm not there.
You're not there, but I'll be there. And everyone that's going to be with me will be wearing What's the Buttons as well.
Very cool.
So it's going to be very fucking interesting. I'll make sure that I get a picture of all of us.
Put it on a Patreon.
Yeah. All of us dawdling there.
www.patreon.com/What's the Buttons.
That's the one.
If you want to see that picture.
Yeah.
And all the other topics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. I forgot that the Patreon gives you 5-minute segments of every episode.
Does it?
For free.
That's cool.
Yeah, so people can get a little gist of it. But I might jig it around because some of them are just awful. Know what I mean? Some of the starts of those episodes are just
all of it's awful. Let's be honest. You might get the odd bit of quality in there somewhere, but it's few and far between.
I'll find the sound bites for the best bits, and you can just have them.
Yeah.
And when you see a movie trailer, and it's all you after you watch the movie, you realise all of it was the best scenes.
Yeah,
And you go, the rest of this was just awful.
Fact.
So that's the one. GTA 6.
I'm not going to say I told you
Bro,
so.
I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. Why? What are they hiding? I don't understand. Everyone's like, stop playing GTA 5. It will force them. No.
It's the magnum opus. You can't rush greatness.
Yeah, but you can at least announce.
Mm-hmm.
How many games get announced, but they don't actually give a release date? They just announce them.
Yeah, but everyone knows it's coming. So what is the point? People only want it announced so they can go, oh, we've got a release date. If you announce it and then go, oh, we'll tell you later, it'll be like, fuck off.
Yeah, but at least that then makes it more real. You know what I mean? You want to see...
Yeah, but everyone knows it exists. We all know it exists. We've seen the leaks. Everybody knows what's going on. You haven't seen, granted, proper gameplay and nothing, I suppose, is confirmed. But you know it's coming. They'll announce it when they announce it. And to be honest, I just don't see the big hoo-ha about it. I'll get it, obviously. But I don't see the hoo-ha for them to just rush it and go, here it is. Just when it comes, it comes. And I hope when they do announce it, they go, oh, by the way, it's coming in 6 months. It's not going to be next year.
It's going to be a case of the bigger they are, the harder they fall in it, because everyone's expecting this to be absolutely incredible.
Well, the best game ever made, they'll expect.
Yeah, so if it comes out like absolute shite... Because to be fair, GTA 5 didn't come out very well. It was well received, but the online aspect of it was fucking god awful.
Oh yeah, I remember it was crap. But that
horrible.
But remember, it was on PS3, So PS3.
Yeah, it was PS3.
So
Long time
go back
ago.
then. I remember the loading screens on the online thing, or you went into a mission, the camera would zoom out into the clouds, and
Yeah.
you'd be there for like 2 minutes just
Yeah.
waiting for something to happen. So, the technology's moved on.
I think the loading times are still mega long, even on PS5. I
of
think
course,
it's still fucking.
they're not crazy though, like they used to be. It used to just crash a lot of the time. So,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's going to be great, but they'll announce it when they're ready, I suppose. And to be honest, there's plenty of other good shit to play.
Yeah, there is. Sorry.
It makes me think though, they must be a bit nervous because when this is the way I look at it when game developers are making games and you're like, this is fucking shocking, or this is like the greatest game ever, well done. They can't see that, and you're like, well, how did they release this fucking bag of shit, or how did they release this absolute masterpiece? Well, the way I see it is when I used to write music, or lol. When I used to write things, I did some charity work.
Mm-hmm.
Big up me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just funny little
Rice,
songs
rice,
and stuff.
baby.
Yeah, just some funny little stuff. But nevertheless, I see it as I would do something or a drawing. Artists, when they do something for so long, they put so much into something. You don't know whether it's good or not. The more you write a song and you write the lyrics and you're like, oh yeah, this goes really well, this is great. But the more you say it, the more you're like, I'm not sure that sounds right. Do you know what I mean? So you need outside perspective, fresh eyes.
So what you're saying, you don't know if Rockstar would be aware if they're making shit or not?
No, not that they're unaware, but they might think this isn't quite good enough. I.e., looking at Starfield, I've seen a lot of people's games of the year lists now, or what they think the potential will be. And Starfield is not on a lot of them.
Nope.
And whilst I love Starfield,
It's not Game of the Year.
no, but whilst I love Starfield, there's a lot of people that hate it, and they have their reasons, some rightly so. And Bethesda have been working on this for the best part of a decade, so you have to get it right. Otherwise, the grand scheme of things, you might have just pissed away 10 years of hard work. And to piss away 10 years of hard work, I can't even begin to imagine how upsetting that must be.
I feel like it's a difficult one because every developer has their stamp, don't they? They've all got a certain way that they make games, and I feel like Bethesda is probably near the top of being developers that have their own specific style of game, like From Software as well. And it's that you've had such a large gap between your last IP to this new one, and I feel like there's a lot of people where they would want to see a change as opposed to the same formula, because that's very much what Starfield is. It's very much the same formula as every other Fallout game, just in space. And like you say, a lot of people love it, but a lot of people hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't love the game, but I don't hate it either. I can't play it anymore because I cancelled my Game Pass subscription.
Did I.
But I had uninstalled it before I got rid of that Game Pass subscription because I just wasn't massively interested in playing it. I'm still playing Elder Scrolls Online, so I was like, well, this is just ESO but in space. Pretty much.
I feel like if you like Fallout, if you like Skyrim, if you like Oblivion, any of them, you'll love Starfield. But having said that, there's no shame in wishing they iterated slightly more. They added a bit more. There was a bit more. It's just it is missing something. I don't know what it is, but it is missing something. But it's also got everything that I love about Bethesda games. So I was always going to be happy. But for people that never like Bethesda games, this isn't going to change their mind on Bethesda games. What would you like? What's the one thing you would like for GTA to iterate on? Do you know, for me, I've always thought GTA's worlds, whilst pretty, whilst graphically pleasing and very well built, there's just not a lot going on. Personally, I just feel like maybe on the online part there's a lot, but I mean like all the city, there's very little to interact with. Like you can't pick anything up. Do you know what I mean? You can't. The mini games are always very dire. I'd like them, and the shooting. It's always the same shit shooting.
Shooting's always been
And that's
shit.
one of the main things. So, like the health bars and all that is all just a bit whack. So I'd like them to work on the combat system and make the world more interactable. I.e., the thing I like about Cyberpunk, whilst different from GTA, is now anyway with Phantom Liberty, it's much more interactable. It's much more. You can kind of write your own stories, if you know what I mean. Whereas, like in GTA, what I'd like to be able to do is just get bored and go, right, I'm going to go and fucking rob this shop. And then rob the shop and get the money. And then have a little car chase. And then, tell your own little tale in a little set of events that you've created. As opposed to just the generic run someone over, get 5 stars, fucking all that bollocks. What do you think they need to iterate on?
I mean, start off, you can't get 5 stars from running someone over.
What,
At max, you get around 3.
Well, it's 1 star, isn't it?
Well, it depends who you're running over. If you're running over the police,
It's just 2 stars.
instant. Yeah, and then if you're in the army base, that's an instant 5. You ain't got to run anyone over for that one.
I think the army base is 6. Army base is straight to max.
I thought
What is there more than 5 stars? Is there not more
is
than
there
5?
5 or 6? It's been so long since I played
I
it.
thought it was 5. Maybe it is 5.
I would like a sense of, not massively, but a little build up on the realism of it, in a sense of not classes, but I'd like there to be specific roles that you can build upon and fill. So, for example, if you're doing heists and things like that, or you are your own like person in GTA 6, say it's online, I'd like to be able to build my person around, say, someone that's really good at hacking, or you've got someone that's really good at dealing with arms and shit like that. I'm not saying have a talent tree where there's like a meta build and all that shit, but I'm just saying because in GTA 5 online, obviously you got like the motorcycle club and the casinos and all the different jobs that you can take up. But last I played it, it didn't feel like you were doing anything. You weren't a part of anything. You were just doing another quest, and that was it.
It's a really cool idea. I like that. You could so for all the heists and that, you could have, say you went down the hacking route and I went down the arms route, so to speak. You could have us in a party and we need 3 other people. You could have an option to go and scope out what it is you think you need, walk around, have a look, do all that shit, and then be like, right, what different ways of doing it, but we could do it with someone on surveillance, we could do it with someone as a getaway driver. Then you'd be able to, this is obviously just made up off the top of my head, but you could have ranks of people online that are online and be like, look at this guy, he's done 73 heists with a percentage of success rate of this amount, he's really good at surveillance or getaway driving or whatever, he's online, how much shall we offer him to come and do that for us, and then just join and be like
a proper heist.
That'd be so sick.
Like you could be like,
I now want to play GTA.
Like you could be in a heist and you go, for fuck's sake, like we haven't got a person with us that's any good at hacking, but we do have a person that's specialised in demolitions. So we'll have to get in the loud way,
blow through the wall.
Yeah, and things like that. I feel like there can be something like that implemented where it allows you, because the systems are kind of there. You go to the weapons store, and the weapons are already all there. But there's nothing saying that you can't have specific stuff that's locked off to, like I say, demolitions, cluster bombs, things like that.
C4s and that.
Yeah, where you have to have a certain amount of, but make it so that you can, so say there's, I don't know, call it 5 or 6 different things that you can specialise into. Make it so that ultimately you focus on one, and then you have leftover, say it's points or whatever it would be based on, that you can divvy out to the other things. Like rather than like being able to do it all, you can, but still hold your own.
Maybe you can just do it all. So there's 5 classes, but you like doing getaway driving, so you do that for 90% of your heists, and you get a really high getaway rating and you unlock, I don't know, special like punch of 3 tyres or something.
Yeah.
But if you fancy a bit of demolition, you can go and try that. But obviously, you're like low rank of demolition, and you have to level it up to
because
get.
they've got it there. When you look at your stats on GTA Online, obviously you got like piloting and things like that. So it's why not just build more on that and make it more of an aim, because that stuff it just goes up naturally. You don't really pay that much of an attention to it. Like your gun score, for example. If mine's at the bottom and someone else is at the very top, I can still kill the fucker. I can still aim onto him and kill him. It's not really making that much of a difference. Same with piloting. All it does is change the turbulence. You get less of it when you're fucking piloting, which makes very little sense because there's very little you can actually do about turbulence in the real world anyway. But it's just having something like that. Like you say, I agree with you. The sandbox that is GTA Online is such a big place, but they've made it small by bringing out vehicles that are extremely fast and easy to get around other places. So now the map does feel smaller, and there isn't that much that's going on. Ultimately, yes, you've got the NPCs talking and there's police chases and there's stuff like that that's going on, but really and truly, you can drive around a lot. And there's just very little that is going on.
I think they need more interiors with, things going on. Like, there's not many interiors. Hence why I say, like, it's cool, man. Just there's places on the map where you can just pull up to a liquor store, as they're called, and just hold them up. That's cool. That's a cool thing to do. Just pull up, put your bally on for immersion, and it stops you getting your star rating so high. Nick some money and then fuck off in your car, and you create your own little things like that. But other than that, there's not really a lot going on. You'll see some geezers flying around on a flying motorbike, firing rockets. It's just annoying.
I'd also like to see some form of housing market.
Yeah.
Whereby, say for example, because right now in GTA, there's not really a whole lot of customization you can do with your houses, and everyone buys the main one that's sitting on like Maze Bank or some shit like that. Or whatever it's called, and you might be able to change the sofas. It's a preset thing anyway that's normally an obnoxious amount of money, and ultimately you don't spend any time in your houses anyway, only there to sort of like change outfits, and that's about it. So I'd like to see not necessarily like a house builder, but say something where, again, like say I buy a property, I'm also able, if I've got the money, to hire like an interior designer or an architect or something like that. And then after a while of progression with that, it unlocks various different things that I can now add to my house or do to my house, and then have a market where I'm able to sell that to other players who would be looking for something like that. So say like you have an interior designer where it sounds really fucking boring, but say you have like an interior designer where you can level and max up to like 10, something like that, which unlocks whatever. Well, if you can't be asked to do that, you can buy the house. You can try and find someone who's selling a house with X, Y, and Z in it that you can only get from a level 10 interior designer. But you've skipped all of that grinding bullshit and you've just bought it straight from an auction instead. Little things like that gives you more of a, not a necessity, but more of a grind for some people to want to actually grind out the other shit because they can make some more money that way. You know what I mean? Just something other than just doing fucking playlist races and shit like that to just get a little bit of cash. Just have something in there.
I never liked the heists. I thought the idea of them very cool, but the way
poorly executed.
Yeah, the way I'd just be like doing my thing, driving to the thing. I've been driving for 8 minutes or some dumb shit, and then someone screaming down the mic something, and then heist failed. I'm just like, for fuck's sake. And I have to start again, all the way back, do another 8 minutes of driving, and then I'll fucking crash, and it's heist failed. And then they just abuse you. You fucking idiot. You fucking. It's I'm not doing this. So I think I only, if I even did successfully do one heist, I think, because it's just frustrating, and I'm just not there to be abused on the internet.
I did quite a few heists, but they were just for the effort that you have to put into it, in order to get like the best out of it. It's just a lot of shit, and if you're not in a decent group, it's just, and the payout at the end of the day, it's just that it's shit because things cost so much money. Basically, like fucking real life now, the pay's a bit waff, and everything else costs fucking way too much money. So you just have to resort to stealing shit now. So the benefit in terms of the ratio of effort put in and money gained wasn't as good as it was if you just did little missions that were quick, like 5-10 minute jobs, and then just repeatedly done them over and over again. But that become very boring. Like the one that I'd always do was called a titan of a job, where you would break into the airport and steal one of those cargo planes, one of the army
I could never
ones.
do that. It was well hard.
Yeah, no, that was like my go-to one. You
that.
just go and steal one of them and then fly it and land it in the county place.
Every time I tried to fucking take off in a plane, they just blew me up.
But what I used to do, because I had I had the Hydra jet that could hover, so you'd spawn into the mission. I'd call that up with like Merryweather or Pegasus, whoever it fucking is. It would usually spawn quite near to you. I'd run over, get that, go to the airport, just fucking obliterate everyone, and then whoever else is in the group can pick the plane up and fuck off. Rinse and repeat. Just keep doing that. I would imagine it's become a lot easier now because there's many different vehicles that do way more damage than the fucking Hydra did. But at its time, the Hydra was sort of the best thing that you could get hold of. I felt like a god flying around in that thing.
See, I never really got into GTA Online. I know you did. I know like a couple of our pals like Charlie and that. He took me on a tour of all the shit he'd accrued over the years, like massive fucking Navy vessels and bases and all sorts of shit. It never really gripped me like that, but it seemed to grip everyone else.
It's just too much shit. There's too much shit, and it got to a point where it was like, well, what am I supposed to be focusing on here? What am I supposed to be doing here? And it was just, what's the best way to make money? And a lot of it just become very fucking mundane. Like if you were running a bikers club, there'd be like smuggling drugs and weapons and things like that, which would require you'd have to go and steal everything. And then if you wanted, and like basically put it in like a lockup, and then if you wanted to sell it, you had to transport it from one point to the next. Well, when you did that, it popped up on the fucking map, and people would just come and blow your shit up, and then boom, that's gone. All of your stuff's now gone.
The last time I played it, I think I played it with you, and because I bought a like a little underground army base, to buy and sell weapons.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing, but yeah, then. That is that same thing. You get in your lorry, you kind of decide how much you want to take with you, and then you pop up on the map as like a red dot, and then
you immediately get blown up.
But then obviously I'm a peasant driving about. I've got nothing, and then you got all these people flying around in jumbo jets and fucking flying motorcycles with homing missiles. And it's just like, how am I supposed to compete with this?
What am I supposed to do? So it's very much of it did the. I feel like it did the typical thing that a lot of live service games and shit like that end up doing, where they went too far. They went too far, too futuristic. There's too many different fucking things. It got silly, and now it's just a bit shit.
Yeah, I'd like them to keep it a bit more grounded, a bit more gritty.
That's how I was viewing Fortnite until they implemented the no build.
Oh, Fortnite no build's sick.
I feel like it was getting fucking silly.
Well, yeah, they had to do that because it was new players just didn't stand a chance. Not a fucking chance.
They were losing their way. I feel Call of Duty went down the same route as well, where things were just getting fucking
Call of Duty,
stupid. The GOAT, fucking COD. There's plenty of games where they over evolve for no reason, and rather than fixing a leak, they just keep putting fucking tape over it. Tape. It's just you're not addressing the issue. You're just putting a bandage over it.
The classic power creep in GTA. It was like, right, let's make this. Okay, that's really powerful. Let's make this, and that's even more powerful. And then everything else is just mundane and useless because everything else is. You want to sell stuff with, you want people to buy the items. So you have to make a reason for them to buy them. So make them more powerful. Give them another gimmick to make people want these items and make them desirable. But by doing that, then all the other stuff you've made is pointless. So then the power creep just keeps getting higher and higher until it gets ridiculous, and you've got flying motorbikes that fire homing rockets.
Well, World of Warcraft used to be like very bad for having that power creep. But they also got very good at fixing it by just doing a squish. Every couple of expansions, they just fucking drop the level cap right down, change it all over again. Because at one point it was the max level was 120. It used to be 60. Like back in the day, it's 60 now, but it went 60, 70, 80, and then I think it went 85 and then 90, and then went to 100, 110, then 120, and there was periods where it just kept getting squished down, so now it's 60, and it just all gets... So they almost like hit a reset on it. Go, no, fuck this, it's getting ridiculous now, because the numbers just get crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of health, the amount of damage, it all gets ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And then they just squish it down. But obviously games like Grand Theft Auto, you're not as readily available to do that, because the amount of shit, it's a completely different ball game. It's not stats and fucking gear and shit like that. It's vehicles and buildings and all that other shit.
I must interrupt this broadcast because I need a shit. I'm an old man. It's come on all of a sudden.
Oh, right. Fine. You go and have your poo, old man. While you was gone pooing, I actually squeezed out a couple of little nuggets as well. So, feel refreshed. I got my little coffee sweet.
We've both shit out of shit.
As you can hear. We both shit out of shit. But we'll save that for the Patreon.
Yep. Poo reviews.
I don't know what we was talking about.
Poo reviews. Patreon.com.
/ what's the buttons. We was talking about GTA, weren't we? But I can't remember exactly what point we was trying to make.
GTA sick. Can't wait. Let's go. What's Mark saying about Spiderman? I'm pissed off about Spiderman.
Mark can go and fuck himself.
Okay.
Little dirty rat.
Okay.
And I know there'll be no repercussion of this because you won't hear this till Monday, and I'm not in Monday, Tuesday.
Nice.
So he's a dirty little fat sket.
Nice.
I hate him. He does this annoying thing where if I say stuff to him, like obviously because I'm his boss, yeah, I'm in charge of him. We've grown up together from year 7, and we're at a point now where I'm much higher than he is on the social, financial, and personal scale. He's down here, and I'm all the way up here.
For those that can't see, he's pointing to the floor, and now he's pointing to the
Me
ceiling.
and you are both up here.
Okay.
I'm trying to get both hands here. I'll bring it down here. We're both here. Mark's here down by sort of like nutsack level. All right? And he does this thing where if I tell him anything or ask him to do stuff, which I do politely, or anything, he just shrugs. I go, do you want to go and do that? And he'll just look at me and go, no. And I hate it. I hate the shrug. I hate it. Because you don't take anything seriously. You go, does that bother you? And he just look at you and goes, oh, I hate him. Anyway, Spider-Man 2.
Best friend, ladies and gentlemen. Best friends.
He's platinumed it. He can go fuck himself. Like I say, you won't hear this until whenever. His little fat face.
But what is his opinion? Because I'm pissed off about it because
Why?
I saw spoilers.
You haven't played it?
Yeah, I know, but I've seen spoilers.
I want to ask you now because obviously I know everything that happens.
Yeah, and it's fucked me off. Like, substantially fucked me off.
Mark has platinumed it. Mark really, really enjoyed it.
Looks very good.
Said it's the best Spider-Man that he's played.
Sure.
However, it was short.
True.
But he very, very much enjoyed it. I don't think there's that many bad
Question,
things to say.
has he sold it yet?
Yeah. Literally sold it instantly.
Okay.
On eBay for 55 quid.
Yeah, well, that's fucking expensive.
It's not bad, is it?
It's expensive.
Well, it's a 70 quid game, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
60? Maybe 60?
No, it's 70.
Fuck that.
I'm pretty sure it's 70.
My reason for asking that was because I think there's going to be DLC. So does he not interested?
Think of that.
He might have missed out on some DLC.
What? That's coming?
Well,
Or is
there's a
already
lot of
there?
speculation that there will be DLC. I think there's been DLC in the last one. There was a fair bit of DLC,
I
actually.
saw speculation on there being DLC. I don't think he massively cares. He's not... Don't get me wrong, he plays DLC, but he's not massively into it. I don't think he'll feel that he's necessarily lost out on anything. He especially won't pay
Oh, for
like
sure.
50 odd quid for the
granted,
game. He just won't do that. The reason why it's being sold so quick is obviously people buying the collector's edition. They got that steel book that got nothing to put into it because it's all fucking digital. So people are obviously trying to buy it for the physical copy of it. But yeah, I saw that thing about DLC. So, but no, he really liked it. People are playing it. Pisses me off, man, because you buy a game, you can play it however you want. You've paid the money. You can shit on it for all you want. You've paid the fucking money for it. I bought Baldur's Gate, haven't played it, not interested. But I spent that money, I can do whatever the fuck I want. People that buy these games, Ash, and then get them done. It released on a Friday. Or was it a Thursday? It was a Friday. Friday, it released. There's people on the Saturday, I've completed it. I've platinumed it. The fuck? What are you doing? What are you doing? There was one guy on the PlayStation forum thing on Facebook, the group. It was the Monday morning, right? It's 7 a.m, and he posted up going, "I've got 50 hours in so far." How? How have you done that? How? It come out on Friday. It's now Monday. I think it was like 48 hours, something like that. It was in the 40 mark of hours logged on Spiderman 2. And I was like, how are you doing that? And everyone was saying the same thing, like, you need to get a life. I'm all for it. I've done it many times before. Destiny 2, fucking 16 hours solid. World of Warcraft, I think my longest WoW thing was 21 hours solid.
Wowzers. There's
crazy.
No pun intended, but wow.
It's crazy. Crazy fucking time to just spend sat looking at a screen.
I don't think I've ever done that length of time.
Well, I felt like shit after.
I've done a lot of 12 hours when I was younger.
I was on some madness. I think I literally went to sleep for about 4 or 5 hours and then got up and then started playing it all over again.
I'm having bad sleep patterns now, like because of Marvel Snap. Like, there's a card, right, called Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah.
And you know how Marvel Snap works. Every time you put you put her down, wherever she is on the board, when you put a fourth card to fill the row on any row, it will give Elsa gives that card +3 power. She's just been nerfed to +2, but nevertheless. But because I've played that card so much, I've been dreaming and I've been waking up, and all I'm thinking, like in my dreams and when I'm awake, is just I can just see this blood diamond flying across, going +3 power, +3 power. It's in my dreams, and I'm waking up thinking +3 power. It's fucking my head up. So yeah, that I can understand this dreaming game fucking your sleep shit. No more Marvel Snap before bed for me. It's fucking my brain up.
All over it. It's
I even
crazy.
go up for a piss. I never do that.
I love that shit though.
Oh.
I love it when the games take over. I absolutely love it. What fucking it was ESO. Because the mouse that I use has the numbers on the side of it, my Razer mouse. Many times I've woken up, like for work or something, and I've quickly gone through the rotation in my head. Because I know, I was like, fucking
That's
hell, you're
mad.
so sad. Even like with one of the healing add-ons on WoW, everything's all like, you can keybind everything to like shift, click, scroll and all that shit. And still to this day, I know it was a Mistweaver healer, and I know the rotation inside out because I did it for so long. It's crazy how that shit just sticks in your brain.
There's nothing wrong with that. Look, the way I see it, we got a unique hobby, right? Play a lot of computer games. We're blessed, we're lucky. Our hobby can be done from almost anywhere. At home, on the go, wherever you want to be. If people that like golf or football or anything could do it in their home, in their spare time, you better believe people would be doing their favourite thing in the world constantly at home.
People who play golf are just bell sniffs,
yeah, but
though,
it's
aren't
only because our hobby is one of the only few you can do at home that we do it so often. You know, any time that's free, I don't want to watch a film or watch TV, and I'd rather play the computer. If I get a chance to play a computer when the kids are in bed, I'm going to do it. That's what I love doing.
48 hours in 3 days is an impressive time.
Yeah, but if that's what you love and you've got no responsibility, you're not neglecting anything, then if that's what you want to do, crack on.
I just find it crazy, though.
It is crazy, but it's like I say, as long as no one's getting hurt, no one's neglected, the pets are being looked after, the kids are watered and fed, and you're not neglecting them while you're playing, then you do be my guest.
Blizzard had a massive lawsuit because people were dying playing their game.
Yeah, I remember someone
people were
killing
dying
themselves
playing World of Warcraft.
because they wanted to be with their character that died or something. I remember reading it
There's
years
people
ago
that
in a
killed
newspaper.
themselves. There was people who locked themselves in their rooms and didn't eat or drink or anything. They just played the game and basically like starved to death. I've just nearly swallowed my cough switch.
That would have been great content, though. I'd have had to come over and give you the Heimlich manoeuvre live on air.
It's actually called abdominal thrusts.
Okay.
We can now get done for fucking plagiarism there or whatever.
Right, the abdominal thrust manoeuvre.
Because they trademarked it, didn't they?
I don't know.
So you have to fucking, when they do the courses, they've got to pay if they want to call it Heimlich manoeuvre.
Interesting.
A little bit of information for you. Yeah, he really liked it though.
Yeah, I'm
really
gonna get it, but not yet. But it's definitely. But the more that time goes on, it's annoying me because it's everywhere. The kids are on YouTube at home, and I'm just seeing thumbnails, and the thumbnails straight away spoil it. The caption spoils it. Twitter, people are just spoiling it. The thing that pisses me off, right, on Twitter, they'll be like, they'll post a cut. I've just seen it while I was shitting out of shit. Right, 4 pictures. You know how they put their pictures on? Yeah, 1 picture there, 2 picture there, and 2 below. They've put the pictures on, and then the caption is, beware, spoilers below.
Right.
I've looked at the fucking pictures before I've read
Yeah.
your caption, you knob
Yeah, you
cheese.
put an eye-capturing picture on, you fucking dicks.
Oh, mate, it's infuriating. And I get it because you're excited and you want to share it with the world, but come on, man. There's got to be some sort of grace period where you
It's
like...
worse when they do it in like gameplay trailers. When they reveal something and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's so imperative and you just put it in a trailer, you cunt. Fuck me. I mean, a lot of people were saying like, it's been out for a week, so you should be expecting the spoilers now. Fuck you.
Nah, man.
Fuck you. I just don't want to see it. Everyone just does it for thumbnails.
I know everyone's different with spoilers and shit, but that really ruins a game for me. The thing that I've seen in Spiderman has already pissed me off so much that it's made me think, well, I'm not going to get that moment of like, oh my God.
What spoiler did you say?
Well, I'm not going to say it because it's going to spoil it for everyone else.
Hold on. What an incredible thing to be spoiled. It's awful, innit?
It's so
It's
annoying.
awful.
It's infuriating. So
There was no blip there, ladies and gentlemen. I just paused so I could hear what it is that's been spoiled. Yeah, but it's also, I feel like that's kind of a difficult thing to avoid being spoiled.
Probably, but you can like. So there's a lot of. I've been on YouTube, not creating content, but I've been watching YouTube probably since for about 13 years, 12, 13 years. I've been watching.
Yeah.
Just Let's Plays. I love Let's Plays.
Yeah.
They don't really do them anymore, but I used to love watching them. Now, there's a lot of people that I follow and watch, because when I play a story game, if there's no like choices and deviation, what I like to do is I'll play it and then I'll watch someone else play it, but I'll always be ahead of them, so I'm not getting spoiled. And if I get caught up, I'll stop watching it. But a lot of the people that I like, they use the generic things every time. They'll have a generic thumbnail they'll use for every episode.
Yeah.
And they'll title it, but they won't title it anything spoilers.
Yeah.
But a lot of the thumbnails I'm seeing now are literally images
Of
and
the game.
capital letters, and it just fucks me off, man.
Yep.
And avoid it, but I can't. My kids are on YouTube. I'm making sure that what they're watching ain't bad, and I'm watching what they're scrolling through, and it's fucking popping up here, there, and everywhere. Twitter is kind of, not my job, but part to keep up to date with news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just impossible to fucking be in this circle and avoid it.
What we're doing is we're sacrificing our fucking love for gaming for you cunts listening to this, because we have to do research. It might not seem like it. It definitely doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem
we spend
like
a lot
it.
of time just talking about bowel movements. But
That's on the Patreon.
we do have to do some form of research for I like to think that this podcast is quite up to date. We're quite on the mark when it comes to the big stuff and being relevant while we're like in the episodes. So in order to do that, you have to research various different things, and we try and not do spoilers because it spoils it for people. But sometimes it's just so fucking difficult. I'm amazed that God of War was not one that was spoiled for us. I'm amazed that we weren't able, that wasn't something that got spoiled, because that was tough, man. That was because I think that was bang on the mark a week for me to. I think it was episode to episode. I had it done by the next episode, and it's tough, man. It's tough to. It's very, and like you say, with the way that things like YouTube, TikTok, fucking Instagram, all sorts of like all forms of social media, everything's so fucking clickbaity now. everything.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these motherfuckers are just not creative whatsoever. I'm not creative, but I don't make the kind of content like that. I make this kind of content. I hate that fucking word. It's so YouTuber content. Fuck off. I make this kind of stuff, right? So I feel like a lot of YouTubers all follow the same fucking format. They're all carbon copies of each other, right? Most of you motherfuckers, you're all carbon copies, yeah? Same with us doing this bullshit, right? And I just feel like a lot of them are, like you say, the thumbnail is now a spoiler. It's gone from having a title that's clickbait, that's got nothing to actually do with the fucking video that you're putting up, to just straight up spoiling it, but it appears as clickbait because you think, well, no one would be silly enough to put a spoiler as their fucking title. Oh no, people would, and people do, but you still click on it and watch it because you want to find out if it's a spoiler or not. And lo and behold, it is. It's just very difficult to avoid shit like that now.
It'll be interesting to see, because I saw a thumbnail that also said Spider-Man 2 ending. So it'll be interesting to see if that thumbnail resonates with the ending. I'll be keeping that in mind. God of War, that's why I ruined the experience for myself. I didn't. I still loved it. 10 out of 10 game, but just rushed it, didn't I? Just didn't do anything to the side. Still haven't gone back to it to do any of the side stuff, apart from the other bit that's like the ending, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I just bum rushed it because I just didn't want to get spoiled, because everyone's different with spoilers. You know, Royce doesn't care. Films, TV shows, games, anything. He just, I don't care if you tell me the ending, I'm still going to go and watch it. Yeah. Like, if you tell me the ending of a TV show that's 7 seasons long, I'm not going to watch it because you've spoiled it. So what's the point? You know, but people are different. With me, I feel like I like the main thing for story games specifically, multiplayer games, whatever the fuck ever, data mine, all the shit that's coming, cool, don't care. But when it comes to story games, the story is the draw. So I want that headphones on, sitting on the sofa, immersed, and then that wow moment when they're like, oh, by the way, this is happening. You're like, what the fuck? That's what makes them so good, because you're like jaw-dropping, controller-dropping moments, i.e. The Last of Us 2, when you switch and you're like, what the fuck? And I thought it was just like a flashback period or something, and then after about 10 minutes, I'm thinking, are they doing what I think they're doing? I'm
the
like,
spoilers
oh my God.
on The Last of Us Part 2 were absolutely abhorrent. They were fucking everywhere because, and I won't spoil it, even though I think we have done on this podcast before. It's old enough anyway, but I still won't say it. The thing that happens very early on in the game happens very early on in the game. So that means that is a very, very quick thing to be spoiled, especially when it was so fucking popular. So everyone was fucking playing that, and you're like, what? Not even 5 hours in, and that shit happens.
It's like an hour.
Yeah, real fucking early in. So it's such an imperative point of the story. So it was so quick to be spoilt for a lot of people that just hadn't played it. And yeah, there were so many twists and turns in that game, especially with the switching and shit like that. So yeah, it's just tough.
But that's what I mean though. That first initial thing you're talking about, right? You can get that spoiled and then still have, you know, like we've discovered, 40 odd hours of gameplay after that with many twists and turns.
Still a lot of get that. It's not.
However, that has such an emotional impact. If you know that's coming, it just ruins it.
Yeah,
ruins it for you. When you're like, oh my God, no, please. And then,
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of people that refused to play it after finding out that first spoiler.
100% there was, 100%.
Because people were angry about it.
And you think people have waited, 6-7 years for the next one? Obsessing, loving everything about that game, only to have it shit all over and spoiled. It's infuriating, and people have just got no respect for other people's lives. I think it's just rude. I've never understood it. I just think I think it's people that have the power to do something to piss someone else off, and they like to abuse it, if you know what I mean. Because I'd never deliberately ruin someone else's experience. It's just shitty behaviour. But yeah, that's happened many times before, and I'm sure it'll happen many times after. You keep giving people early access to things as well, like streamers and YouTubers, because they get to review it. And spoilers can be subjective in terms of, like, The Last of Us, right? I knew
what was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen in the first hour, but I knew what was going to happen without even being spoiled, because the amount of shit I was seeing on Twitter about, ooh, this game is going to do something, this is going to divide the fan base, this is just things like that. I know that there's something in it that is what could possibly do that. It doesn't take rocket science to think, right, I know they're going to do something massive. What could that be from knowing what I know from the first game? Okay. So I'm already kind of softened to the fact of what might happen. So it's not, you don't even need to fucking say it to spoil it a lot of the time. Just people's reactions. And I haven't said it. I haven't really spoiled it. I've just reacted. Yeah, that's enough. Because now I know something massive is happening.
Yeah, the reaction's always more than enough to be able to fucking figure something out.
And that shit fucks me off, man.
So that's what Mark thought about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, good. I will get it. Or maybe a Christmas game for me, but we'll see. I've got a lot on my plate. Warzone is just taking over. Baldur's Gate is nowhere to be seen. I'm worried I'm getting to that kind of time now where if I jump back in now, I ain't got a clue what's going on. So yeah, it's dangerous. I'm playing a dangerous game.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've known Ash for 3 years, I think now. Yeah, about 3 years. It is 3 years. Because I was at Dickhead Place for a year, and I've been at New Place for 2 years. In November. And I know the man pretty well now. We do a podcast every single week, I don't know if you're aware. And in that time, you learn how each other works. So when he says that he's going to be playing a massive game that's taken fucking long time and then obsesses over it and then suddenly switches to a different game, you know that original game that he obsessed over is doomed. And it is doomed. You haven't gone back to God of War to do the side missions. We all knew that was coming. And even then, there's verbal evidence of you saying, no, I'm going back, I'm going to do it.
I want a platinum.
Right? There's also evidence of me saying that I'd do that, but I'm known for this kind of stuff. I don't go back. All right? At least I own it. I'll just say I'm not going to go back. And then now there's this. Diablo 4. It's my forever game. Haven't fucking picked that cunt up, have you? Because it's shit. All right? Fair enough, it is awful. However, Baldur's Gate 3 is a very good game. It's just very big. There's a lot of shit to do. And I just know you, man. You're like me. You got burnt out because you're so excited. Like a fucking puppy running around in a field. That's what we're like. Very excited. Sprinter, I fucking love this. This is great. Look at this. Wow. And then you're knackered. Or you fall over and you hurt yourself. You go, I ain't going in that field again. I've had enough.
There's something in that. And that is the overexcited, obsessed. I'm just like this.
It's the ADHD.
The greatest thing I've ever experienced. I need to absorb every piece of information about this. I was watching YouTube breakdowns of fucking like D&D stuff of the actual lore and everything. That's not why I've stopped playing it. I stopped playing it because I wanted to play a multiplayer game with my friends, and the interaction is fun and enjoyable. And now I'm just kind of in that bubble. I want to go back to Baldur's Gate, and I will finish that fucking game because it's my favourite game of all time. And I can't say that without finishing it. But, you know, I can say it now, but I cannot say it's my favourite game of all time without finishing it. That just doesn't seem natural.
Listen, everyone, listen.
Rain Dolo lives on. All right? You know, he's been through some shit. He's seen some things.
Also, I know spoilers that you don't as well. So I want to get your reaction off of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of stuff that you don't know about.
Yeah, and I fucking love that game. It's my favourite game of all time. And I won't change that until something tops it. But I fuck knows how that's going to happen.
The Witcher 4.
Possibly. That could be the only thing that on the top of my head could do it. And another thing I need to do is Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty. I fucking love that shit. But I'm really taking my time with that because I think that is some dope.
Moving house has fucked me, you know, because my gaming stamina has just disappeared.
Yeah.
I'm fucked from work. I'm fucked from trying to figure out how to move house. So when it comes to gaming, I've been playing so much Rocket League. Because like you said last
See it
episode,
popped on, though, yeah.
it's just something to pick up and just fucking waste some hours on it and then just drop it like it's nothing.
And that's another
Very
thing.
easy fucking
With
game.
Baldur's Gate and EAFC, if that's what you want to call it. Like Baldur's Gate takes a lot of my mind power, like because I'm invested in the story, so I'm only playing when I'm ready and I'm awake. I can't play when I'm really tired. I need to fucking concentrate. Need to make the decisions I want to make, or Rain would make, and also the fighting. It takes some fucking brain power. It's not as simple just button mashing. It's not Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You need to think about strategies, abilities, moves, turns, fucking character abilities. There's so much to think about. It takes a lot. So when I can just jump on Warzone and just switch my brain off and shoot some people, it's easy.
Steph's been seeing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, and she's like, "Oh, like I really want to play it." And I said to her, I was like, "I don't know what you would prefer, whether you'd like playing it with a controller or not." But I said I'm more than happy to re-download it onto my PC, because I said I ain't fucking paying to have it on the PlayStation. I already spent 60 quid on it to have it on here. So I'm actually just fucking downloading it again now and see if she likes it, because I don't know if it'll be her cup of tea, but
Can you play it with a control on the PC?
yeah, cool. Yeah, of course you can. And I said this to Steph. I said that I don't like the click to move play style. I hate it, in fact. But plugging in a controller onto a PC, and yes, it's a laptop, but even it would be no different if it was a PC. For me, just feels dirty. I don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. I feel comfortable sitting on my laptop in the position that I am using a mouse and a keyboard. When I'm sat back with a controller playing it, I don't like it. It doesn't feel natural. You bang me in front of the PlayStation, it's the exact same seating position, everything. I love it. But on a PC, for some reason, it just feels alien, and I don't enjoy it. So, no. Plus, with a PlayStation controller, you have to have the cunt plugged in. You can't do wireless, because they don't connect. Because they're fucking stupid, even though it's a PS5 controller. They don't connect up. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Okay, well, I'd say that's wrapped us up nicely.
That's done it, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope she enjoys Baldur's Gate. And
So do I. I know she's going to love the character creation.
Oh, I hope she likes it, because I need someone to talk to about it. Like
Connor.
Yeah, but he's
a ginger little prick as well.
Uh-oh.
While we're on it,
little
little shit.
Here we go.
Yeah. He's getting a little bit too comfortable showing me his penis. Right? It's a little bit too much. From Daryl, I expect it. But Connor was the quiet, shy, nerdy, fucking Rupert Grint, Weasley-looking motherfucker. He's going to hate this. Right? And now he's come out of his shell, and he's an absolute freak. Because he gets his nutsack out. He keeps grabbing Mark's penis and touching him up. And Mark don't like that, so he's crying. He's getting upset. So I just need to get it out here. Just stop it. Leave him alone.
I do not endorse this kind of behaviour.
It's not nice. Carry on.
That wraps us up, I think, because that was quite the point to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uru.
Hooroo.